Now, what are these foods that you should be eating to get more of these nutrients in your diet? Well, the answer might just surprise you. There was a 2022 study published in the journal Frontiers and Nutrition titled Priority Micronutrient Density in Foods. What these researchers did was they looked at all of the different foods and tested them to see which ones had the most nutrients in them. They developed a series of charts with 37 different foods and food groups and ranked them in order of most nutrient dense to least nutrient dense. And 17 of the top 18 foods are all animal foods. Now, this might surprise you because in our world today, we have a massive push to eat a plant-based diet. Now, I'm not saying that plants can't be nutrient dense because there was one plant food in the top 18 that was nutrient dense, but this is to just say that animal foods are the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. We've done other videos addressing these common concerns about animal foods, cholesterol and saturated fat, but these are not an issue. You can check those videos out. Now I'm gonna go through this list, these top 18 foods that are all animal foods, and I wanna ask you how many of these foods that you've eaten every day, okay? Just take a mental note here. The very first food that is the most nutrient dense food on this list, this is beef liver. The second food, spleen. Small dried fish, dark leafy greens. That's the one plant food that made the top 18. Then number 5 is bivalves. This is clams, oysters, mussels, and scallops. 6 is kidney, heart, crustaceans, goat, beef, eggs, cow's milk, canned fish with bones, lamb, cheese, goat milk, pork, yogurt, and fresh fish. Out of those 18 foods, how many did you eat today? Or how many have you eaten this week, or this month, or this year? I would say if you were like a majority of people living in America under the influence of predominantly plant-based agenda, I'm gonna assume maybe you didn't eat a majority of these foods. Now on this chart, all these foods that I just mentioned, these are all very high or high in many of these key major vitamins and minerals: iron, zinc, vitamin A, calcium, folate, and vitamin B12. Plant foods don't really contain virtually any of these vitamins and minerals. If they do, they're probably not in a very bioavailable form, or they're in a different form that your body just can't absorb and utilize that well. Or they're gonna come with anti-nutrients that bind to these minerals. For instance, plants might contain oxalates, like leafy greens. Spinach is a very high source of oxalates, and these bind to calcium. So while you might hear that dark leafy greens are very high in calcium, but what this list doesn't tell you is that spinach is also a very high source of oxalates, and oxalates directly bind to calcium, and your body isn't able to absorb it, or it can lead to kidney stones. So you're not really absorbing as much calcium from plant foods as you might be thinking you are. Now, if you're not eating the animal foods that I just mentioned, daily or weekly, odds are you're probably lacking in many major vitamins and minerals. And this lack of vitamins and minerals, as we just talked about, could be contributing to your health issues that you're experiencing. Now, I also want to note that Dr. Weston A. Price, who traveled the globe and studied all these indigenous tribes that ate a human diet that didn't venture out and eat ultra-processed foods, they were still living intact with their normal culture and way of living. They were eating more than 10 times the amount of fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K2, that we're eating today. So they were eating a ton more micronutrients than we're getting in today's diet, mainly because they were eating these animal foods. And these are foods that our biology expects. These are foods that humans have eaten as long as we really know of, hundreds of thousands of years. Now, the weird thing is, with a large push in American culture to eat a more plant-based diet, we are told to eat the foods at the very bottom of this list, which doesn't make much sense, does it? But I'm not discrediting that plant foods have any non-value to them. I believe plants and fruits can contain a significant amount of value. The fiber in them can be very beneficial for certain individuals, but this is just saying about these nutrients, the ones that majority of people are deficient in, the foods that we're told to eat more of, the nuts and seeds, quinoa, vegetables, fruits, tubers, whole grains. These contain none of the essential vitamins and minerals that we need that most people are chronically deficient in. So if there's one takeaway from this video, it's to start eating more foods at the top of this list. But now I want to call out the foods at the very top of this list. The first one is liver. The second one is spleen. Then you skip a couple and you get to kidney and heart. 4 of the top 7 are organs. Organs are the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, hands down, bar none. And this makes the most sense. Instinctively, in the wild, every species in the wild, every omnivorous species in the wild, they always go for the organs first. But for some reason in America, we don't really consume organs much anymore. We used to. Humans used to consume a lot of organs. And we've done videos on this in the past where we've talked about all of these traditional culture tribes and how they value and prize the organs like liver, heart, kidney, spleen, and pancreas. They value these like gold, and they source these above all else. But we don't really consume organs much anymore, and it's leading to a lot of chronic health conditions. But I get it, trying to include more organs in your diet when you haven't done this ever maybe, or you haven't developed the palate for it, it can be intimidating going out there and wanting to include more of these organs in your diet, doing raw liver shooters like I like to do. And while I'll always advocate for going out there and sourcing your organs fresh, going up to the farm or finding ways to get in organs in your diet, mixing them into things like meatloaf, chili, or other recipes, that's not always easy to do, and it's more convenient to get them in other ways, which some of my favorite ways to get them in, and ways that I do every single day, ways that my family does, and ways that my pets do, is taking them in convenient capsules. And that's why we at Ancestral Supplements, we wanted to bridge that gap for you, because we understand it's hard to get organs into your diet. We understand that they're not very tasty at times, and it can just be difficult to source them. So we wanted to bridge that gap and be able to get you the most nutrient-dense foods in the world into your hands in a very convenient way. That's why one of the first products we ever made was beef organs. This combines the 5 most nutrient-dense organs: liver, heart, pancreas, spleen, and kidney, all into one convenient capsule that's been gently freeze-dried so it retains all of the nutrition. That way you can take this effortlessly. In addition to that, we wanted to make sure that we maintain the highest standards possible when it comes to sourcing our organs. When we source our organs, we source exclusively from small regeneratively raised farms in New Zealand and Australia. Now, these cows are always 100% grass-fed and finished, so they're not eating grains like corn or soy. They're also non-GMO. They've never been given any vaccines or steroids, and all of our products are third-party lab tested. Now, it's not just our word for it. Other corporations, third-party corporations, have tested our products to be completely free of contaminants, nefarious substances like heavy metals, and other common contaminants that can get into supplements. But don't just take my word for it. We have almost 15,000 5-star reviews on Amazon talking about just our beef organs product alone. And I want to read you one of those 5-star products right now. This is by Jay Smith, titled Migraine, Joint Pain, and Exhaustion Improved. There are so many positive reviews already, but I'm going to add just one more. I have no idea why the beef organs have made such a difference in my quality of life, but I cannot deny the incredible improvements I have experienced. I've been exhausted and achy for so long that I honestly thought it was normal. I'm 35, yet there are days when I can barely climb the stairs in my home because my knees have been so damaged. I've been taking prescription NSAIDs daily for some time and prescription pain medication for the especially bad days. I've been falling into bed at the end of the day completely exhausted and waking up just as exhausted. The absolute worst issue I've been experiencing, though, is an increased and prolonged cycle of migraines. I was in an accident many months ago and suffered a severe concussion, along with other injuries that required multiple surgeries over several months. I expected the terrible headaches, dizziness, and misery for a few weeks, but I was assured by my doctors that I would heal without complications and then I would be back to normal. This didn't happen for me. Over the past few months, I developed migraines that would wake me from my sleep and leave me unable to even stand. The pain was worse than any migraine I have ever had. The migraines would last for days and nothing seemed to help. I even tried the typical migraine medications, the newer medications, and even straight narcotics. I had taken the beef organs before my accident, and once I finished multiple surgeries over several months, I decided to begin taking them again. The joint pain, especially in my knees, began to ease within a week, and I no longer need the NSAIDs at all. My energy levels also improved drastically. I'm currently walking 5 miles daily, and my knees aren't aching, popping, or locking at all. I wake and I feel as if I actually have slept. It is wonderful. But I discovered completely by accident that the beef organs help when I'm having a migraine. But to my surprise, I realized an hour later that the pain in my head was easing. 3 hours later, I was completely back to normal. I am now taking them daily and I am having 1 to 2 migraines a month instead of having weekly migraines that lasted 2 to 4 days each. Each time I get a migraine, I take an extra serving of the organs. I highly recommend trying this product if you are experiencing joint pain, low energy, and/or migraines. I don't understand how a combination of organs help with these issues, but they have absolutely made such a difference. I love this review so much. They said, I don't understand how a combination of organs can help with all of these issues. After hearing about vitamin and mineral deficiencies and hearing about how all of these vitamins and minerals, replenishing them in your body can help you with these issues, this should make a whole lot more sense. This is just one of 15,000 5-star reviews, and this isn't a testimonial to our product. This is a testimonial to giving your body whole food that it has a deep ancestral intelligence with. So if you like this content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We have a ton of incredible content coming your way soon. Share this video out with somebody that you know needs to eat organs the most, and I'll talk with you next time.